Okay guys, it's your island girl and I'm back with another video for you today, and today we are reacting to 10 things you didn't know about Norway. Now Norway, you might ask, why is she looking into Norway? What does she want to know about Norway? Because guess what? I'm in love with the little that I know. And I just did a reaction to Aurora and found out she is Norwegian. I'm like, ooh baby, I need to know more. I did their prison, I did a video with the King's speech, and I loved it. So now I'm about to dive in. So it's your island girl. Come on in, right back. Put a smile on your face. Go into the comment section. Tell me every and anything that you think I should know, the ins and outs, because I will. I know, I'm speaking it into existence. I will visit Norway. My kids and I will visit Norway. Okay, guys? Just putting it out there. To my regular schmegglers, my day one, to everybody that comes in, big bear hugs all the way from Alaska. This girl don't know nothing, so I'm intrigued. I want to know every and anything. Now I've been yapping on, so let's get into this video. Oh, before we do so, I gotta put on my headphone, don't it? Here we go. It's time to learn about this beautiful place called Norway. Here we go.
Norway is a land of unparalleled beauty, wealth, and mystery. Yet given its off-the-grid status, as well as how expensive it is to even visit, most people know little about it. We seek to remedy that ignorance with 10 things you didn't know about Norway. The cost of living in Norway is known to be one of the highest in the world. Oslo is specifically recognized in a variety of surveys as being one of the most expensive cities in the world. Mercer's cost of living survey for 2015 ranked Oslo as the 38th most expensive city in the world out of 207 cities, ranking higher than Paris, Melbourne, and Washington, D.C. While Norwegians themselves earn high salaries and the high tax burden pays for their well-functioning welfare system, it cannot be denied that Norway is an expensive place to live or even visit. So if you ever want to experience paying something like $15 for a beer, then you might want to head on over to Oslo to get that experience. Despite the high cost of living, there's also a very high standard of living, and most Norwegians end up doing quite well in life, whether they earn a tremendous amount of money or not. Norway has one huge...
Hold up. You're going on to number 9, but ooh, what did you say? Whether they're working or not? Look, I need to know more about their economy and all of that stuff, because guess what? This is interesting. And I love that lady walking down. She looks so, yeah, $15 for a beer? Aye, that's steep. But guess what? I can get used to that.
Compared to other Nordic countries, and that is oil wealth. In the 1960s, the Norwegian government seized control over the NCS, or Norwegian Continental Shelf, in the hopes of taking advantage of possible oil reserves that might be there, and take advantage they did. The government spent a great deal of money on exploration in an effort to find the juicy oil spots, and once they did, the black gold started to flow, and the rest is history. One interesting thing the Norwegian government has done, in contrast to many other countries with access to large quantities of oil, is to put money earned via the oil away in terms of savings. In 1990,
hold on, did they just said put away all money in terms of savings? So are they saving money for their citizens? If that's the case, oh wow. Now that's a government thinking about its people.
The Norwegian government set up a sovereign oil fund, the Government Pension Fund Global, as a place to store the profits from its oil riches and save for future generations. The fund is largely financed by high oil taxes. Oil companies are taxed up to a whopping 78% of their profits from Norway oil, and the government only spends 4% of the fund's assets per year. Today, Norway has put away over $1 trillion in money saved for emergencies and future generations, and the oil seems to continue to be flowing, so there is no sign of this thrift disappearing. The Kalmar Union, called Kalmar Unionen,
$1 trillion for its future generation? Are you serious? Aye. No, I understand a little about that, because here in Alaska, they do have this oil dividend, but the only thing with that is that each year they give their residents some of the profit. So it's not put aside for future generation. Each year you get your cut as a resident living in Alaska. As long as you're staying here, you're entitled to it, which is, and I mean each person in the household. So if there's 10 persons in the household, 10 persons get their individual checks each year. It only happens once a year. So this is interesting. This is a better way of doing it, in my opinion, because the country is already flourishing, so why not? But hear me going on. Let's continue.
Unionen, in Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish, was a political union that from 1397 to 1523 formed under a single monarch that joined the three kingdoms of Denmark, Sweden, as well as Finland and Norway, together with the Norwegian territories of Iceland, Greenland, the Faroe Islands, and the Northern Isles. The union was not entirely uninterrupted, and there were several short breaks. Legally, the countries remained separate sovereign states, but with their domestic and foreign policies being directed by a common monarch. The driving force behind its formation was to block German expansion northward into the Baltic region. And conversely, the main reason for its failure to survive was the perpetual struggle between the monarch, who wanted a strong unified state, and a Swedish and Danish nobility, which did not. Diverging interests gave rise to conflicts that would hamper the union in several intervals, from the 1430s until its final and definitive breakup in 1523, when Gustav Vasa became King of Sweden. Norway continued to remain a part of the realm Denmark-Norway until the Oldenburg dynasty for nearly 3 centuries, until its dissolution in 1814. The Norwegian language...
That is a lot to decipher right there, to digest and to grasp all in my brain. I gotta do a lot more reading.
Conflict, called språkstriden in Norwegian, refers to an ongoing controversy within Norwegian culture and politics related to written versions of the Norwegian language. From the 16th to the 19th centuries, Danish was the standard written language of Norway due to Danish rule as a consequence of the Kalmar Union. As a result, the development of modern written Norwegian has been subject to controversy related to nationalism, rural versus urban, Norway's literary history, dialect versus standard language, spelling reforms, and orthography. Thus, in contrast to something akin to Hochdeutsch of Germany, Norwegian actually has 2 official standard variants of Norwegian. Bokmål is one variety that can be regarded as more traditional, older, and conservative, and is sometimes viewed as Norwegianized Danish. And Nynorsk is regarded as a pure form of Norwegian, more Norwegian than Danish, and has a more nationalistic flavor to it. Both variants are used, but the variety tends to be found mostly in the written language. Surveys from the early 2000s indicated that upwards of 86.3% of Norwegians use bokmål as their primary means of written communication, with the remainder using nynorsk or combination of the two. Although historically there had been a great deal of tension concerning the matter, the age of conflict has long passed, and the differences in the language are more a curiosity to most than a point of contention to be fought over. These days,
that I can understand. Similar to in Jamaica. It's an English-speaking country, but at the same time we speak Creole, or Patois as we call it. It's not French Creole, but it's broken English, and it's always been a conflict as what do we speak? What is the main language? It is English, but majority of the country does speak Creole, broken English. It's not like WAH, W-A-H, is what in our term. So yeah, listen to me, but this is very interesting. Skiing, the birthplace of skiing. All right, now
everyone enjoys skiing, but that might not be true had the Norwegians not founded the sport and created the tools to help people enjoy it. The word ski originally comes from the Old Norse skid, which means split piece of wood or firewood. This of course makes sense given the very northern climate and abundance of snow in the country. Every time an American, Italian, or German skis down a slope enjoying this winter sport, they ultimately have to thank the Norwegians for developing the ski and the activity associated with it. If you've become familiar with Scandinavian food and like it, then Norwegian food will not disappoint you. Salmon is a staple food when it comes to the Norwegian diet, with the country's long coastline and many fjords producing ample amounts of this fish. Due to the colder temperatures, the fish grow over a longer period of time, allowing them to develop a deeper and richer flavor. Meat also makes up a number of popular Norwegian delicacies such as kjøttboller or kjøttkaker, These can be described as a different version of Swedish meatballs, and those with a sweet tooth can satisfy their cravings with krumkake, translated as curved or crooked cake. Krumkake consists of paper-thin rolls of a waffle-like pancake, which are then filled with whipped cream or any other desired filling. Perhaps the
Yum 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 yum. That looks so good. Stuff on all that in that cone thing. Yum 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 yum. Not to mention the salmon. And guess what? You're eating my name. That is my name. I've never said that out loud on my channel. My surname is Salmon. And not only that, you guys eat a lot of salmon, and a lot of salmon is there. And here in Alaska is the hub for what? Salmon. We go fishing every year. We're flooded with what? Fish. Salmon, to be exact. So we got something in common. Isn't that cool? I'd love to try those roll thing with those stuff with them. My mouth is just watering.
Logical phenomenon most associated with Norway. The fjord itself is a Norwegian word, which of course makes sense given the wide-scale presence of these majestic structures. A fjord is a long, narrow inlet with steep sides or cliffs created by glacial erosion. A fjord is formed when a glacier cuts a U-shaped valley by ice segregation and abrasion of the surrounding bedrock. Glacial melting is accompanied by the rebounding of Earth's crust as the ice load and eroded sediment is removed. The foundations of fjords often reach many thousands of feet below sea level. For example, Sonja Fjord, which is the largest and most well-known fjord in Norway, as well as the second longest one on Earth, extends a whopping 4,265 feet below sea level. Within the waters between fjords, there exists an abundance of fish, such as salmon and mackerel, and opportunities to see whales. Regardless, the fjord is part of the Norwegian heritage and a testament to the beauty of the land and its people. Called layers.
It is. The scenery, just what I'm looking at right here is breathtaking. It is just beautiful. It looks so peaceful. It's so green. I'm telling you, I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love with this place. Golly.
Tunnelen in Norwegian.
Longest tunnel in the world.
Longest tunnel ever constructed in the world, running a staggering 15.3 miles from start to finish. The tunnel does not have emergency exits. In case of accidents and/or fire, many safety precautions have been taken. There are emergency phones marked SOS every 820 feet, which can contact the police, fire departments, and hospitals. Fire extinguishers have been placed every 410 feet, and high air quality in the tunnel is achieved two ways: ventilation and purification, and this keeps the tunnel operating at maximum performance. For such a small total population,
I appreciate that. That is well thought of. You have the phones, you have the fire extinguishers, even though it's so long. No exit except the straight. No. Oh, wow. That, I don't do well with tunnels, but that is crazy. But guess what? It works.
Which barely goes over 5 million people. A surprising percentage of that population is in fact not Norwegian in origin, currently making up 16.3% of the population. The 5 largest immigrant groups in Norway are, in order, Polish, Lithuanian, Swedish, Somali, and Pakistani. This is a huge change from previous decades, as in 1992, the immigrant population in Norway was 183,000 people, 4.3% of the total population. At the beginning of 2015, this number had risen to 815,000, or 15.6% of the total population. Immigration to Norway has increased drastically in recent years, with net immigration exceeding 40,000. Whether or not this will be a long-term benefit to Norway remains to be seen. Depending on the year of the survey taken and the study done, Norway is the most gender equal society on Earth. But what does it actually mean? Well, on average, for every $1 a woman earned in Norway, a man earned $1.27, which translates to an average annual salary equaling about $57,856 for women and $73,257 for men. Adjusted, of course, for more hours worked by men. Just slightly under 76% of Norwegian women are part of the national labor market, while Norwegian men's participation is 80%, far better than most other countries. And women's political participation is greater than in most countries too. Overall, being a woman in Norway is not a bad deal, and maybe even better than being a man. For more top lists just like this, be sure to leave a like.
Their population has grown tremendously. The diversity is a lot, but that's good. Because they're happy. They seem happy. I don't hear anything negative. So it's a plus for now, as you say, for now. But I think it will continue that way. Not only that, their earnings, their salaries, and women. Oh, this is amazing. This is beautiful. I'm actually happy with what I just watched. I really am, and I am like I said, I want to know more. What do you guys eat for breakfast? What do you guys? How do you guys handle the winter? This was eye-opening. I got a little history. I need to dig more. Ah, boy, the language barrier. There's so many things, but the scenery, it is so beautiful there. It is so breathtaking. Whew. That's it from your island girl. Like I said, I am diving in. I'll be learning and I'll be sucking in as much as I can about this beautiful place on this earth. Thank you for watching. Leave your requests in the comment section. Tell me what I should look at next, guys. I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye.